Good morning, everyone. Hello once again, and welcome to the YAEDP participant onboarding session. Congratulations once again for being part of the selected applicants, and welcome to the training session. We would like to formally say good morning to the NEPC personnel, the CEO, Executive Director, Mr. Ezra Yufusak, the Director, Policy and Strategy, Mr. Lawal Dalhat, the Deputy Director, the Assistant Directors, and all other NEPC personnel. Thank you so much for joining the onboarding session. For the rest of the NA staff, from us to you, my name is Soso Konkwo. I'm a Program Analyst at Nourishing Africa, and this is us saying a big welcome and congratulations to making it this far. The rest of the Nourishing Africa personnel would be engaging with the participants through the entirety of this onboarding session. Okay, so we can take 3 minutes to introduce ourselves. I see the chat box is already running its due process, but feel free to connect with other participants. You could introduce yourself, your name, your state, and your agribusiness in the chat, and this would be a great opportunity to connect with the rest of the learning participants. Once again, my name is Soso Konkwo, and I'm a Program Analyst at Nourishing Africa, and we're so happy to have you here. Okay, so just to briefly run us through the agenda, we'll first start by the introductions, the welcome introductions. I see we're already doing the introductions in the chat box. Just a quick reminder that the chat box would be used just for introductions and introductions you would want to have with other participants and other members here. But for the Q&A box would be for questions directly relating to this onboarding session and to the training program. So don't type in your questions in the chat box, just type in questions relating to this program or to the Q&A. So we would have our opening remarks by the Director of NEPC, Mr. Dalhat, and we would also move on to introduction to the YADP, what the YADP is about, questions and answers there. We'll also talk about the YADP Learning Portal, introduction to the portal, a live demo of the e-learning portal, which you guys would be using for your learning experience. We'll talk about the guidelines for participants. You also have an opportunity to type in your questions in the Q&A box once again. And then we would move on to the next steps when the program is about to start and closing remarks. Thank you, guys. So I hope Mr. Lawal is here. We would introduce Mr. Lawal Dalhat once again, Director at the Nigerian Export Promotion Council. He will be giving the opening remarks for the program. Mr. Dalhat, we're so happy to have you here. And if you are, over to you, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. So thank you very much. I kind of missed part of it. I don't know. I'm having a little bit problem with my connection, but I'm fine now. Okay, so to give the it's my turn now, I guess.
Yes, sir. It is.
Oh, okay. Well, let me make this correction. Actually, my speech I'm presenting the opening remark on behalf of the Executive Director, CEO of the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, Dr. Ezra Yakusak, who actually is engaged in some other official assignment, and he now delegated that I should deliver his address on his behalf. So, well, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome you all to the official launch of the Youth in Agri-Export Development Program. This is an important activity of the Export Inclusiveness Workstream of the Export Expansion Facility Program, which was targeted at providing training, mentoring, access to market, intelligence, financial advisory, and fund sourcing for selected participants. Permit me to express my delight and sincere appreciation to our partners, Nourishing Africa and YAEDP, the consultants for this program, for their commitment and successful delivery of the program. I want to also welcome the successful candidates for being part of this unique opportunity to build their capacity in the agro-business value chain. This, we believe, will assist in opening up windows of opportunities that will abound in the agricultural subsector of the economy. This program is coming at a very critical period where the world is recovering from shocks of the pandemic and the recent war in Europe between Russia and Ukraine. It becomes expedient that as a nation whose monolithic revenue base is oil, that we have no option but to aggressively diversify our economy. And to pursue this goal, the Council is intensifying its efforts through several strategies to create awareness on the need for everyone to #export for survival as a nation. This, we believe, will create the required momentum for the diversification of the Nigerian economy through non-oil. This particular training program will be delivered in 6 modules, as will be made to understand by the consultants and by reputable experts and trainees with good knowledge of export sector. It will focus on emerging export value knowledge with demonstration of practical skills needed to guide you in developing your businesses. The ultimate aim is geared towards assisting SMEs to imbibe and improve their export knowledge to enable them become export ready. It is important to emphasize that the training has been designed to equip you, that is the youth, with the necessary skill and information required to guide you in your export journey, as well as mentor and expose you to the export world in order to boost the non-oil export sector of our economy. Ladies and gentlemen, I hereby crave your indulgence to participate fully in this training. Certificate of participation will be issued to successful candidates who also stand to be further put in the second phase of this program. On this note, I wish to thank you all for your attention while wishing you fruitful training, and I will use this opportunity to also declare this program open. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dalhat, for a thoroughly engaging speech. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, too.
Okay, and then we'll be moving on to about the YAEDP, which would be taken by our CEO, by our co-CEO, Ramat, the project lead. And just before I give it over to Ramat, I would say that this session is being live streamed on YouTube. So if you're not able to join into the Zoom, you would still be able to see it on YouTube. And then you can send in your questions through the Q&A, and it will be answered either live or directly through the Q&A. So Ramat, over to you.
Thank you so much, Soso. It's an absolute pleasure to join the session this morning. But first, I would like to say a resounding thank you to the NEPC Executive Director and CEO, ably represented by Mr. Lawal Dalhat. It is our extreme pleasure to be able to implement this program on behalf of the NEPC, and we definitely hope that the participants would have a thorough learning engagement and participation in this program. Also, I would want to extend our greetings to all the NEPC personnel on this call this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your support and engagement in this program. Also, my greetings to all of the participants who have taken their time to join this morning. This is actually a very bold step that you all have taken. Mr. Dalhat has said it all on behalf of the ED. Export promotion is actually a key activity in the Nigerian agriculture sector. We are very rich and abundant in resources, and it is absolutely necessary that we begin to look at export as a lucrative business, especially for value chains where we have competitive advantages. So welcome, welcome, welcome again, and we look forward to engaging you thoroughly on this program. So I would be taking us through information about the entire YAEDP, consisting of various components, and we will be focusing and highlighting the training part in particular this time around. Through my presentation, you will be able to gain a thorough understanding of how the program will be run, what are the expectations, and what next we should all be expecting as participants on this program. Just a quick one, as Soso has mentioned, please use the Q&A only to send us your direct questions. That is really important so that we can go through the questions. The chat is limited to introducing yourselves, communicating with other participants, but the Q&A, we really want to get through all of your questions, but if you send us things like good morning in the Q&A, that means some people's questions might be overwhelmed by all of the good mornings and such. So please keep your introductions to the chat and use the Q&A box only for questions related to the program. And I am actually sure that by the time I'm done with my presentation, most of your questions will be answered. So please bear with us while we run through this presentation. Okay, so let's get this started. So first about the YAEDP, we can move the slide, please. Okay, yes, I think it is really important that we also introduce Nourishing Africa. We will also learn about the second program implementing partner, Ribi, as mentioned by Mr. Dalhat later on. So we are a knowledge and membership platform aimed exclusively at supporting African agri-food businesses to scale. We have a very big vision of seeing a flourishing, sustainable, and just food ecosystem that leverages agtech and digital innovations driven by Africa's vibrant entrepreneurs to ensure that the continent is food secure, that we as Africans nourishes ourselves, and we become a net exporter of food. And this is really, really why we are implementing this Youth in Agri-Food Export Development Program, because Nigeria, being the giant of Africa, is in the best position to actually contribute to food security on the continent and ensure that the entire continent is a net exporter of food by 2050. So Nourishing Africa help African agri-food entrepreneurs to scale through three main activities. One is our membership hub, which some of you have joined. It is an online community for entrepreneurs in the agriculture and food landscape to connect with each other, share experiences, engage in peer-to-peer learning, and build business partnerships. On a daily basis, we see various businesses partnering with each other, buying from each other, supplying commodities to each other. So this is a thriving community where agri-SMEs simply need to belong. We also have various knowledge and capacity building initiatives, one of which is the YAEDP training, which I'll be going into very shortly, that helps to facilitate knowledge sharing and training and workshops for African agri-food entrepreneurs to ensure that you build the right skills to move your business forward. We also have our resource hub on the Nourishing Africa portal, which includes a vast amount of resources from data to funding to e-learning, technology, talent, events, and so forth that we have seen has become the Google for African agriculture and food for many stakeholders on the continent. if you're yet to visit the Nourishing Africa Resource Hub, you should definitely do so. We have tons and tons of resources useful for African agribusinesses. Very briefly, our reach, we have wide reach across the continent and beyond. We have multiple stakeholders across the globe. We have our members from 37 of 54 African countries. So the community is actually, Pan-African, and you're able to engage with other African agri-food entrepreneurs across the continent. Over 1,700 members are actually verified members are actually on the platform with over 16 global partners, and we've trained over 6,000 entrepreneurs in Africa. Across more than 50 knowledge sharing sessions. Now to go to the YAEDP in itself. So as you would have seen through the communications on social media or wherever you had first been introduced to this program through which you applied. So by applying, we understand that you would have at least a basic understanding of the program, but my presentation would help you to understand the intricacies of the implementation of the program. As you probably know, our focus states are Abia, Adamawa, Benue, Cross River, Edo, Abuja, Kaduna, Kano, Lagos, Kogi, Ogun, and Oyo. But this does not mean that the YAEDP does not cover all the states in Nigeria, because indeed it does. But these are just the focal states. And just generally, which you might already know, we've mentioned that we've partnered with the NEPC, the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, to implement this program in partnership with RIBI as well. And participants here as expected to be within the age range of 25 to 40, hence the focus on youth. And for priority value chains, so we're focused on value chains where Nigeria has competitive advantage, as we had earlier mentioned, and also in line with the NEPC Zero Oil Plan. The NEPC had highlighted this particular value chains as having immense benefit, immense markets out there for export value. Our focus group, as mentioned, Nigerian youth, women, youth with disability, and particularly entrepreneurs with active businesses in the agriculture and food landscape. So this program is not for those who are thinking of starting an agribusiness, but those who actually have the active business and have the product that can actually be exported to other non-Nigerian markets across the globe. And as mentioned, the funder is the NEPC. So this program is meant to cover all 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. Going to the program implementing partners, as mentioned, we have 2 program implementing partners on this program. That is Nourishing Africa, us, and RIBI, which is a digital platform that helps to provide financing and financial support and financial literacy to small businesses like yourselves. So this YAEDP comprised 3 fundamental components, 3 essential components which participants will be put through. And each component has the various layers of stages within it, and participants will actually move through these stages. The very first, where we are starting off, is the training stage. And this is where we have engaged over 5,000 of you to participate in this export readiness training. The aim and objective of this training is to get participants to be export ready. So we understand that not so many agribusinesses, even if you have been around for 10 years or more, have the plan or have the skills and resources to move them from zero to export. So it is very critical that participants are able to go through this training and understand what it means and what it is going to cost, and take them to be able to prepare for export and actually start exporting. And so this training is going to cover a whole range of that. I'm going to go into further details about the training much later on. And this training stage is where we're now onboarding new participants at this particular point in time. We're managed by Nourishing Africa. Now, after the training, we are going to be going into the technical support and market linkage stage. So like I said, this is a step-by-step program format. So after the training, 5,000 participants will engage in the training. And then we will have some technical support and market linkage for 100 export-ready participants. I remember that I had said that the training is for participants to become export-ready. So this is a 6-week training, and then we are going to engage the participants who are taking this training to assess their export readiness. So from this pool of participants who complete the training, we are going to select and work with 100 of these participants who have shown that they are export ready in terms of resources, products, branding, and other things. And these are the 100 participants that we are going to work with to connect and link them to global markets across the Asian market, European market, North American market, and other African markets to ensure that their produce actually leave Nigeria and are being sold across the global market. So these first two components are managed exclusively by Nourishing Africa. The third component, which is more or less the final stage, is the financial support to participants managed by YAEDP. So we have put this program together such that participants are onboarded to the program at the various levels and stages. So for now, this particular onboarding is for the training. So when we get to the technical support and market linkage stage, those who make it to this stage will be onboarded again into this level of the training. At the financial support stage, this will be handled entirely by YAEDP, and YAEDP is going to onboard all the participants that they want to provide this financial support to. So at every point in time, regular communications will be sent to all the participants to let them know that they have moved through the stages and to provide further information about the stage. So have no fear. For now, all of the information that you need at this stage will be provided during this onboarding session. So moving on to the training and technical support, the components for Nourishing Africa, we have passed through this application and onboarding stage. So the very first stage is the application and onboarding stage, which is in the green box that you can see on the screen. You have all applied into the program. We had a system that has reviewed all your information, looked at your businesses, and deemed you fit to participate in the program. Thank you for applying. And now we're at the onboarding session. So the very next stage we're moving to is the export readiness training. And this includes a robust 6 weeks self-paced learning experience that is leveraging an online learning management system. It covers a broad range of courses, resources, and assessments to prepare you, the participants, for export. You have to complete this 6 weeks training course and absolutely meet up to 80% of the pass mark for you to be invited to the next, to take the diagnostic tool for the next stage. I'm going to speak about this much. So up to 100 export-ready agribusinesses. Please take note of the word export-ready agribusinesses, because the NEPC has a mandate to support those businesses who can actually, represent Nigeria's rich agriculture and food products out there. So these businesses would be selected through the export readiness diagnostic tool to proceed to the next stage. So these 100 participants are those who would then move to this next stage called the technical support and market linkages. So these 100 export-ready participants will undergo intense mentoring, coaching, and guidance to ensure that they are able to export their produce. This will also include further training. This training will be in person instead of online this time, through physical workshops and linkage to export markets. So this particular stage will be very intense throughout the course of the year to ensure that we are able to get these 100 participants to export their produce across the value chains that we have prioritized. So once again, if you have any questions, send them through the Q&A. Again, please keep the Q&A for questions only, Q&A for questions only, so that we can go through them. We have various team members from Nourishing Africa who would be typing responses to your questions as we go, and we will also take some of them live during the Q&A dedicated time. So I will now take the training aspect. So just to give us a bit more details about what the training entails, and we're also going to do a live demo of some of what the training portal looks like. So if you have any questions at this point, again, send them through the Q&A, please. So the YAEDP training is virtual for all 5,000 participants who have been selected to join this stage. It is facilitator-led, meaning that expert trainers have been engaged to deliver this session. But it is also self-paced because you have the leisure and liberty to log into the portal and take your courses anytime you wish to. It is for 6 weeks, and it covers a robust export curriculum channeled through this online interactive platform. So interactive in the sense that we have group discussion forums. So when you log on to the portal and you're taking the courses, you can actually start a discussion with other participants or even with the Nourishing Africa admin. So if you have any question on a particular course, even other participants can answer you. So it is very engaging. Now, our overreaching goals is that we want to focus on building your capacity in key business areas, not just in export, because the business model, the business operations are important towards leading to export. So it is going to cover key areas such as understanding the agribusiness export landscape, international marketing and sales, branding, marketing, quality and standards, business efficiency, finding financing to facilitate your export activities, and building sustainability around your business. Believe me, you're going to have a very thorough learning experience on this program. And for our expected outcome, we really want to see that the participants have developed a thorough working understanding of your business operations and value chain activities, and you have built the necessary and core skills and knowledge to enable you to start or scale successful export businesses, because we understand that some of you might have actually started some export activities and we need you to scale that. For those of you who are yet to start, we need you to start exporting on this program. And even if you do not make it to the final 100, which we hope you do, you are able to even, on your own, facilitate your export activities. Now I'll take us through the training curriculum very briefly. You're still going to see this when you log into your learning portal. So like we said, we have 6 broad modules across 6 weeks of learning, facilitated by expert trainers in the landscape. So the very first stage is taking you through the module of understanding the agriculture industry and export markets in Nigeria. We believe this is a very critical stage to reintroduce you into the Nigerian agri-food industry, the stakeholders, the policies, the challenges, the gaps, and indeed the opportunities for you. Looking at the export market, the second course, and then the third course is the opportunities, export opportunities along key value chain. We have used cashew and ginger as a case study for you, and you'll be looking through this on this module. So these are facilitated by the trainers, as you have seen, right-hand side, very prompt people who can put through these processes. The second is on improving your business efficiency, from supply chain and logistics to financial management and accounting to preparing for export growth. Really important. So many people jump into export without looking internally to see what is actually needed, from systems and structures to governance, to technology and data and innovation that you need to actually do so. So this is the second module. The third module is on international sales and marketing. How do you sell in international markets? What are the key market forces? What are the marketing strategies you need to put in place? So these are what you would see in the third module, also facilitated by very informed experts. The fourth module is on quality standards and regulation, really going into the export ecosystem right now. So what are the quality requirements? What are the industry trade standards that you need to know? Who regulates what? What are the documents and things that you need to actually put together to be able to start your export business efficiently and as smoothly as possible? Then the fifth module is talking about the export registration, the certifications and licensing that is required. What documentation do you need? What are the procedures and processes to start all of these registrations, to get all of your documents in one place to ensure that all of your export activities are structured and you don't have delays at the port and things like that. Now, the sixth module I know this one is very important for participants. It's on financing your export business, because absolutely we know that without financing, you cannot, there's really not much that we can do. Of course, you have to ensure that, you have the capacity internally first to start exporting is not, a small activity. So we're dedicated this last module to, teaching participants how to, the first is on export financing. How do you finance an export business? What are payment methods and opportunity? Then the second is on understanding the types of financing. There's so many types of financing, and it is important that businesses actually focus on what is important. Now, the last one is how to develop a winning fundraising pitch. There are so many financing opportunities out there beyond what will be provided by WIBI in the stage of the program. But so this training would also help you understand, how to put your business forward to receive other financing in the landscape. So these are the various modules, and I believe that you will find them very engaging. So I believe that we have so many questions in the Q&A. I really want to believe that these are really, please help us to keep the questions short so that we can go through them as thoroughly as we can. We want to ensure that we answer all your questions. So while the live demo is going on, we're going to do our best to answer some of these questions by typing them out as much as possible. And those we are unable to get to, there's still a Q&A panel where we will address this. So I will hand over to Soso at this stage to take us through a live demo of the e-learning portal where you will all be taking your training. So much.
Thank you so much, Ramat. Need to share the screen. Just give me a few seconds. Okay, lovely. Just a few seconds so the dashboard can actually load. Okay, great, we're here. So hello everyone, and just as Ramat has explained, this is the learning portal which you would be taking your training for the 6 weeks, for the entirety of the training program. I did not share the email and the password for privacy reasons, but this is where it takes you to after you put in the email and then after you put in your password, and it takes you to this landing page. It takes you to the dashboard where you see a summary of the amount of courses, modules, and instructors. And you see your name. Here is your user profile. And these are the courses that you have completed. Again, this dashboard looks like this because this participant has actually finished all the courses. So if, for instance, you had just started module 1, it would show that 1 is ongoing and 1 is completed. And here at this particular dashboard that my cursor is running through, it would show you your progress level. So if you're midway, it would show you a yellow. If it hasn't been started for your first 3 or your last 3 modules, it would show you with a color code for your progress level. Here you can see the brief intro. It takes you to an about the YADP page, which we'll go on to later. So let me just go back to the dashboard. And under here, you see a summary of your assessments and your score as well. So we're going to walk you through the functions. This is where the modules are. You can see all the modules here. They're all selected here. You see the 6 courses that Ramat had just shown you through the training curriculum. We're going to try to start one, just a brief demo of one, the agricultural industry and export market. This was the number 1 in the training curriculum. And if we start it, you would see the courses. So here they are 3 courses. There are actually 4 courses. 2 courses are divided into 2 so that you can break it down and you can enjoy your learning experience. If we start this course, you would see that is a timed session, even though we did take off the time limit here because we're testing the portal. And you can play the video. And here is the training video by your instructor. It's 23 minutes because there's a lot of questions in the Q&A asking what's the duration of the training program. So it depends on the duration of the courses. This one is 23 minutes and you can move on to, it takes you to a separate page so you can see a full screen where you can watch the video. You can come back here, you would have a brief description on the video, the course. The instructor here is Aisha Hadija from Sahel Consulting. And here are the resources. So this is the PowerPoint that you're going to watch in the video, which you can download. And I will just do a brief demo to download it. And you can, again, apologies for the internet, it might be taking a while. And then you can download the course notes, the course PowerPoint. I would move back on to the modules and you can see the discussion box. Ramad has spoken about this. And this is where, as participants, you can talk to each other. So if you have questions that you think other participants, your fellow participants can answer, you can add a comment. So I can type, hello, does anyone need help with does anyone, you can type in anything. Hello, does anything relating to the training program. So anything you think your participants can help you with. I can't see the video. Has anyone been able to access the assessments yet? You submit, and then it would take you to, it would let you know that your comment was successfully submitted and it would be reviewed before made public. So please allow 1 to 2 business days just for us to look through the comments to see if it's actually related to the training and for us to make it visible. So this is where you have the discussion box, you can talk to each other here. And then I can move on to the next course by just clicking the next course in here. And it will take me to the next course. I can play the video like I had shown you earlier. Can move you here. It keeps taking me to the next course. So once you've completed the time duration, it would not take you to the next course until you have actually finished the timed duration of the training. And then you can move on. I just want to show you how the assessment is going to look. This is moving on, it's showing you, this is Module 1, the agricultural industry and export market in Nigeria. These are all the courses to finish Module 1. And we would move on to the assessment. So I know there's a couple of questions in the Q&A box about assessments and about the learning portal. Once you have successfully watched the training, the course training, it moves you to your assessments. Now there's 1 assessment per module. So that means you have 6 assessments in total. The system tells you that you're to complete an assessment, that your performance in each assessment counts towards your overall performance. You need an overall grade of 80% or higher to be able to download your certificate on completion of this exam, of this program. Now, just a few things to note, like it says here, each participant would be able to retake the assessment 2 times after the initial try. Now, what this just means is after I do begin my test and I see the assessments, these are the assessments. I would quickly move on from it because the program hasn't started. But once I have answered the first, once I have started the assessment and I do not make the cutoff mark, I have 2 more retries to make the cutoff mark. So I can take it 1 more time after my initial try and a 2nd time after my initial try. Now, if I make the cutoff mark after that, I'm working towards my overall grade to earn a certificate. Now, another thing to note about the assessment, even if you do not make the cutoff mark, you would be able to move on to the next module, considering that you have actually answered the assessment. So it doesn't limit you because we didn't want to limit your learning experience. You're able to move on, even if you haven't made your cutoff mark, but it's important to make the cutoff mark to actually earn the certificates, having completed the YAEDP. So that's it. So this is just to show you how the module looks, and this is what you'll be looking at when you start the program. Now we have the assessments. this is just showing you the progress. Like I mentioned, because this participant has actually finished all 6 modules and has gotten a 94%, so clearly they can earn their certificate. You can click here to get your certificate. It takes you here. And here's just a sample. Again, apologies, we're still working on this exact page, but this is sort of how your certificate is going to look. It's a certificate of participation once you have earned an overall 80% in all your assessments, again, just to clarify on that. And then the frequently answered questions. For this program, a lot of the questions have already been previously answered. So it takes you to the help for learners. You can watch the self-help videos. Here we've done self-help videos which can guide you. So if you're confused, you can rewatch the welcome video, which actually didn't show because I had opened it, but I can show you later on. But you're able to see the welcome video, which is welcoming you to the training program. Just going to quickly move on.
Welcome to the e-learning portal.
This is what you see. You can watch a video on updating your profile. Again, this has been carefully curated to make sure that we kind of answer all the common questions that you might have. So if you want help into updating your profile, you can quickly go to the frequently answered questions, the FAQs, watch the video on updating your profile. And here it would actually guide you to updating your profile. If you want to start and join a session, just like I had mentioned earlier and shown you earlier, you can be able to watch this video again if you forget. It lets you know how to start and join the session. Just not to waste time, I'm not playing all the videos, but I just want to let you know that these are all the self-help videos we have here. If you want to take an assessment, you don't know how, just like I had just shown, you can watch the video here again. If you want to view your assessments, you finished your assessments, you want to look at how well you've done, you can look at it at your self-help video and also downloading the certificate. So basically everything I have just covered here, it's all in the frequently answered questions. You can go to your FAQ, you can watch the self-help videos and it would help you. Now for question about your courses, please visit the discussion forum like I had mentioned under each course to see some already answered questions by students and course instructors. So here, if you have a question related to the course, if you have a question that other students who've watched think they have the answer, they will be able to answer. If you have a question that maybe the course instructor would have to answer, the course instructor would have the answer in there. And another thing about the FAQs is we have, if you want to know more about this YADP program, when it just takes you to a page which Ramad had just explained what the program is about, how the training works, the course, and how to earn your certificates. We'll go back to the FAQs and we can see other questions. So after the self-help, we also have other questions. I'm seeing a lot of these questions in the Q&A box as well. How long is the training program? The training runs for 6 weeks, just as Ramad had earlier mentioned. All assessments must be completed within this period to be able to download your certificate. You can see how long each module is. This is also a common question in the Q&A. Each module consists of 3 to 5 courses. Ramad has shown you the training curriculum through the individual training videos. Each video lasts about 25 minutes long. So we made sure that no video goes past the 25 to 26 minute length, just to give you a seamless learning experience. So you don't get bored, you don't get tired. You're able to watch, move on. When are the assessments due? Each course assessment is due within the week for each module. Assessments for each module must be completed before proceeding to the next module. Will I be able to contact other participants with taking this training? Yes. Like we earlier mentioned, the e-learning platform provides a discussion forum which you can start or join relevant conversations with other students. To navigate the discussion forum on each course page, so navigate the discussion forum on each course page to participate. Will I have access to my dashboard and course content after the 6-week period? I believe this question is also going to be spoken about by Ramad towards the end. After you've completed all aspects of the training, you would have a read-only access. And how do I contact technical support? Again, we do want to reinstate that because this is a seamless learning experience, most of the questions have been answered here. through the self-help videos, through finding out more, and through the discussion box. But if you feel that you have a question that you have exhausted all the relevant ways to find them out, and if you feel that you do not have a fulfilling answer for that, please feel free to contact YAEDP@nourishingafrica.com if you have further technical questions. Again, if you have any technical question now, and as we're showing you the demo, please leave it in the Q&A and our IT would be able to answer that. So for the last function of this learning portal, here is your account. So this is your profile. And here you would be able to see your, just basically your account, your profile details, your last name, your first name, your website, your phone number, states of residence. You would have the opportunity to update your email. You would also have the opportunity to reset your password. Follow the instructions, click the button, and this is a seamless process, and voila, you'll be done. And if you do want to log out, you can simply just click this button and you'll be taken out of this program. I hope that we have been able to show you a brief demo of what you would soon be using to learn about the YAEDP. This is how it looks. We've made sure that it's very easy to use, so you don't have to run into too many technical difficulties. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. And any further questions about this, please do put it in the Q&A box and we would make sure we answer them. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Soso, and thank you for all of the questions. We are trying so hard to go through them all. I would really implore us to please look through the answers. So some of the questions are being repeated, and we would really want you to look through the answers in case you know some of your questions have been answered. We want to go through as many as possible. Like we have said, over 5,000 of you have been selected to participate in the program. So imagine that we have to go through all of these questions, and we have close to 2,000 of you on this call, and some of you also watching the live YouTube stream. So we're taking questions from all ends. So please help us to streamline the questions so that we can get through to you. We have so many questions coming in. Use the chat for non-questions, comments that you have, and limit the Q&A to relevant questions. Okay, so I am going to go through some guidelines that we believe will be helpful for participants. So am I taking this? Am I free to go on?
Yes, Ramad, you are free.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so we have put together some guidelines, some essential tips that we believe will help you. And of course, our email is always wide open for your questions and comments. But as Soso has mentioned, we have taken great pains to actually curate some questions that we believe are relevant. So please go through the FAQ when you start the learning experience. We're going to answer all of the questions about when the training will start, when it will end, how you can ensure you get the best learning experience. So please bear with us. So before the training, here are some things we believe are really super important. So the first thing to know is that the login details will be shared with all of you participants, especially those of you who have confirmed. So when you receive the welcome email, so we had a button for you to click that says confirm that you will be participating in this program and acknowledge this email. So we're going to be sending the login details. So by registering for the program, that means you have automatically created a profile on the e-learning portal. So these will be sent to you, and you can then update your password and update your reset your password and update your profile. Secondly, to have a stable internet connection throughout the 6 weeks of the learning experience. So even though it is self-paced, you still need a strong internet connection to watch the videos, access the resources, and so forth, and ensure you have enough space. For those of you who would be interested in downloading your course materials and things like that, to ensure you have some space on your device. And by device, we mean either your laptop, your MacBook, your tablet, or your phone. So the training is accessible on all this. Also, be reminded that it is a self-paced learning, so you have the discretion to choose your time. So we have allowed 6 weeks of learning so that you can go through each of the 6 modules at leisure. So you have the liberty to choose your time and say, this week I want to dedicate 2 hours to this learning experience. By next week, maybe another 4 hours. By next week, another. So you have the liberty to choose your timetable. So that's why it's a self-paced. Remember also that the videos are timed. So the learning videos that Soso has shown us on the screen are timed. So for example, course 1 under module 1 can be like 20 minutes long. And that means that you can't actually fast forward them. You have to watch them to ensure you have the best learning experience. You have to watch them to completion. And when you are able to finish watching these individual videos and resources, and when you'll be able to move to the next module, the next course until you finish. And another thing is that you can actually prepare a dedicated journal to take notes. We have taken such great pains to ensure that we have built a robust curriculum that covers major aspects of exporting. So you might need a dedicated journal to take some notes, and also ensure to log into your dashboard regularly to check for updates. So we will be sending some updates and notifications to you through the dashboard, and even for other participants. Maybe someone has answered your question or Nourishing Africa has put up a post. So please log into your dashboard regularly to take the course and to also look through notifications. And of course, do not share your login details for anyone. The training is for people who have been selected to participate in this program. That is you. Now, during the training, oh yes, and finally, before the training, another thing to note is that the preferred browsers has notified to us by our web developers is that the preferred browsers are Chrome and Firefox. So you might have some issues, maybe if you're using Safari or Internet Explorer, for example. So if you don't have Chrome, Google Chrome or Firefox, you can look to download them before the training starts. Now, during the training, we're expected to participate in all phases of the training across the six modules. Again, you are liberty to choose when you want to take all of these modules. That's entirely up to you. Secondly, we need you to, when you're moving to the next course, you actually have to take all of the previous courses and the assessment in that particular module. So for example, module 1 has like 4 courses. You have to take all of the 4 courses before module 2 will open for you. So you can't skip module 1 and go to module 3 or go to module 6. So it is a step-by-step learning experience. And the assessment, critical, very important. You have to take assessment for module 1 before you can open module 2 at all. Also, as already emphasized, the discussion forum is open for you to initiate or even contribute to ongoing discussions. You might even see participants who have started exporting and can actually share their own experiences on the program. Also important, Soso had mentioned this, but worth reiterating is that you have 2 takes after the initial try for each assessment. So when you finish module 1, for example, and take the assessment, you'll be able to take the assessment for a total of 3 times. So when you take your assessment towards ensuring the answers will not be shown to you, but you can actually try again to ensure that you work up to cut-off mark. You can also download the resources, and you are free to go back to watch all of the modules and courses all over again to refresh your knowledge. The slide is not moving. Yes, and yes, just similar to this Zoom experience, we crave your indulgence to please not post anything unrelated within the discussion forum. We really need you to keep discussions on the learning portal to the training. So please, again, it is really important. We know that you are busy entrepreneurs, you are running businesses, and you are here to learn. So we wouldn't want you to waste other participants' time by posting anything unrelated. Also, if you have any challenges logging in or accessing resources, you can try to clear your browser cookies just to ensure that you have a seamless experience. And of course, you can always email us to let us know if you have any difficulties. And after the training, so many people have asked in the comment section and the Q&A, so this is a good opportunity to answer. So participants who complete the training, and score at least 80%. 80% is the cutoff mark. You can score 100%, which is absolutely wonderful. So if at least 80% will then be invited via email to take the diagnostic tool assessment. So this diagnostic tool assessment is what will then further assess those who complete the training, not all of those who have been invited to this program. Those who complete the training and have 80% on their assessment will then be invited via email to take this diagnostic tool assessment to help us select the 100 for the next stage. So the next stage is not a guarantee just because you earned 80% or you have a certificate or anything. So you will still need to go through this diagnostic tool assessment. So that next stage is actually a competitive stage because we want to work with a smaller group, which is 100, to facilitate the export. So it is actually a very competitive process, and you have to take the diagnostic tool assessment to assess your export readiness. So at that point in time, participants have to await our information in your inbox. Also, you will be able to access the content of the training up to a month or 6 weeks after the training, just to ensure that, if you want to download further materials or other activities, or you can still go back within 6 weeks after the training. And if, of course, as we've mentioned, these are the communication channels, the YAEDP at nourishingaafrica.com. There are group forums on the portal. This is our WhatsApp communication line. So please copy that out if you do not have it already. It is also included in all of the emails that we have sent to you. So if you look at the footnotes of all of the emails that we have sent to you, our WhatsApp number is always there. You can reach out to us. And our whistleblowing line is important for those who have any ethical issues. We always stress and emphasize for all of our programs. We are not, this is not a grant giving program. We're not giving money. We're not handing out any funds. As Nourishing Africa, as mentioned, there's another partner that is in charge of the financing component. And at that stage, RIBI is going to onboard the participants to their stage of the program. Participants who are going to go through RIBI will be reached via email. RIBI is going to onboard you and let you know what that stage entails. So, but Nourishing Africa is handling no funds. We're not promising any money. We're not, handing out any, we're not giving out any handout. So if you have any issues with ethical concern, our whistleblowing line goes directly, not to me, not to Soso, not to my team members, but directly to our board. So please, ethical concerns, we take this very, very seriously. And that is why our programs are always transparent. So use this whistleblowing lines to let us know of any ethical concerns on this program. So we hope that this has been informative. And at this point, I will take some questions if we have some that are not yet answered. So, Soso, have you looked through? Do you have any questions?
Ramad. Yes, I'm looking through. You just answered. There's a lot of, does this program offer grants? You had just explained it now. You can talk about it again if you want, but there's a couple of questions about that we can answer live. Questions?
Okay, so the questions, I just wanted to recognize the presence of Mrs. Sherifat, the Assistant Director at NEPC. I can see that she's here, and Ms. Onyekwa Duke as well. Thank you so much for joining this session from NEPC. If you have some few words, please to go ahead. Okay, if not, we can please proceed. I really just wanted to recognize their presence. So are you going to be reading out any questions for us to address?
Yes, Ramad, I'm working on that now. I did want to ask if we could expand again on how the courses work, if we can take all the courses at once, or if certain modules would be open at a certain time, like we had explained during the live demo.
It would possibly need to engage with web developers for a more robust answer, but definitely, as already mentioned, you can take the courses at any time you want. So, but if Emeka is there, you can type in your answer or respond to let us know if participants can actually take all 6 modules in 1 week. We do not advise this. We want you to actually have a robust learning experience. And that's why we have spread it across 6 weeks. But is it possible on the hub? We have to ask our tech team.
Emeka, please answer.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm the senior software developer for Nourishing Africa. And yes, you can take more than 6 modules within a week or more if you feel like, even if you want to finish it in a day, you're free to do that also.
Thank you so much, Emeka. So as you can hear, it is a possibility, but I would personally advise that you actually give yourself space. This is actually a very robust learning experience. So please give yourself space. And even if you finish within a week, it does not mean immediately you are going to be invited to the next. The 6 weeks will be used up before you can be invited to the next stage of the program if you earn 80% and have completed all your assessments.
Another question we have live that is a very common question here is from Robert Bodman from Kaduna. Will all the participants get funding, or is this only to the selected 100?
Very good question. So for the selected 100, RIBI will definitely work with them to ensure they get financing for their business, for the export business. But for the rest, so this is entirely up to RIBI, but I believe that RIBI is going to work with a sizable amount of participants, not just 100, to facilitate financing to them. And I believe we have reiterated enough that even the financing is not grants. This is a RIBI stage, as mentioned, so we do not have all of the information. As mentioned, we're really focusing on the training at this particular stage because this is the stage where we are. And at the next and the various stages following this training, believe me, all of the participants, all of you will have all of the necessary information in respect to that particular stage. But the most critical, the most important at this point is to ensure that you pass through this training stage. And that is why we have devoted all of our energies to this stage at this point. You actually need to scale this stage to go to the next before you even start talking of markets, linkages, and financing.
Thanks, Ramad. Another question we have here is a couple of people trying to access the training link or asking where the training link is. No, Ramad, sorry. Go ahead.
So we have not given you the link to access the training portal yet. So the training is on the training portal that Soso has shown to us, but we have not sent this to you yet. So this will be communicated after this event, and with the dates that the portal will be open. So there's a particular date it will be open, and from that date onward, it will start counting for 6 weeks when we will be expected to have completed all of the courses. So this will be sent over email, and we'll notify you via SMS as we typically do, so that you can check your email.
Thanks, Ramad. Another question we would like to answer live is if the 80%, this is a common question, if the 80% is required on each model or if the average is required over the 6 models. So yes, the average is required over the 6 models. You have to earn an overall 80% to be able to earn your certificates. Oh, I think Ms. Sherifat is trying to speak. I'll mute so you can go ahead, ma'am. I don't know if it's just on my end that I can see Ms. Sherifat appears to be frozen.
Yeah, I think she has some internet issues.
Okay, so for the overall just waiting for Ms. Sharifa to see if that gets fixed. Go ahead.
Thank you, Rama. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mr. Sharifat. We can hear you, although your internet seems to be a bit shaky.
EDCU can you hear?
Yes, we can hear you, ma'am, but I think your internet is a little shaky, so you're going in and out.
I think we just lost her, so.
Oh, okay. So while we wait for Ms. Sharifat to come back, we would continue with the Q&A. So another question that we see that is very common here is, can the modules be retaken? Yes, the modules can always be retaken. So it doesn't get locked. You can go back to your modules if you feel like you want to, it's something you missed out, or there's something more that you want to see. Yes, absolutely. Your modules can be retaken. You can go back to it at any time through the entirety of the training. You can always go back to your modules. So it doesn't get locked, nothing happens to it. You have full access through the entire 6 weeks and the month after, I think, to access the modules. They can absolutely be taken. And also another question I see with assessments, you do not have to take your retries immediately after that. It's not a timed assessment. Just once you've started your one try assessment, you have to complete it, but it's not timed. There's no time limits. So you can feel free to go back to the modules, go back to the courses, rewatch them. If there's something you missed that you think would help you with your assessment, you can go back, answer them, watch your course videos, and go back to answer your assessments. So just like we explained, it's completely self-paced in a manner that you're able to do this at your own convenience. So yes, the modules can be retaken and it can be rewatched. It's not, maybe retaken is not the right word. It can be rewatched, absolutely. There's no, it doesn't get locked. You have access to it through the entirety of the program.
So can the tests be retaken?
Thanks, Ife. Yes, the test can be retaken. So you can take your assessments. You have 2 tries after your initial try. So just like we've explained, the first time I take my assessment, if I do not do well, if I don't get the pass mark, I can take it 2 times after. So that means, just like I had said earlier, I can go back to rewatch my courses and come back to answer the assessments. So yes, absolutely, the test can be taken, but 2 tries on your assessment after you've taken it the first time. So once you have completely exhausted your retakes, so that's once you have attempted to do your assessment 3 times, you wouldn't have access to take it again. So 2 tries after the initial take for your assessments.
Yeah, and just to quickly jump in again, when you retake your assessment, the final score is what will be counted. Again, please correct me if I'm wrong, Emeka, but the final score is what will count towards your overall score. So it does not affect your score if you take use all of the 3 trials for your assessment. So the final score is what will count towards your final score. So for module 1, if you score 70%, module 2, 100%, module 3, 100%. So the average of this is what will be your final score. That one enables you to download the certificate and enables you to be invited to be diagnosed, to take the diagnostic tool for the next stage. Any further questions, Soso?
Yes, we do have a couple more. I see questions about if the documents can be downloaded. So yes, you can download some resources. So that is your course PDF, your PowerPoint that is presented in the video, you can download that. You can also download the additional resources under the resources. So just like I showed in the dashboard, if you click under the resources, you will see the PowerPoint for the training. You can absolutely download that. Any additional resources that are coming with that, you can absolutely download that. but the video, unfortunately, is not downloadable. But yes, you can download the PDF versions of the additional resources and the PowerPoints. Are the videos downloadable? I just answered that right now. Unfortunately, no, the videos aren't downloadable. I would look through for more questions. Yeah, Amadu, so we have a couple of questions that have come in before, but I think they're still asking them. So what is the criteria to be among the 100 that qualifies to the next stage? This seems to be a very common question.
Okay, thank you, Soso. So as we had earlier mentioned, the very first criteria is please go past this training stage first. Aim for 80% overall score. That's the very first criteria. It not only enables you to download and have your certificate of participation, it also qualifies you first for the next stage. And then there is an export readiness diagnostic tool, which we will then invite you to take. So this tool has a range of assessments that helps us to understand if your business is export ready or can be export ready within a very short period of time. So those who actually have the best performance and show their export readiness, those will be picked to this stage. But like I had earlier said, the very first stage, the very first ladder to scale through is the training stage, where we currently are at.
Thanks, Ramad. I do have another question that if you could please give more insight to. A participant asked, observations, I see some persons typing on creating a WhatsApp group to educate each other in particular regions. Please kindly give a warning to this, because I guess the question is about WhatsApp groups and people creating WhatsApp groups for the program.
Yes, I'd like to comment on that. So we will not be creating WhatsApp groups or Telegram groups or whatever groups for this program. Because as this person has rightly observed, this is a very common ground for scammers and fraudsters to come online and tell you what the program are not doing. So please, if you see any WhatsApp groups created for YAEDP, it is definitely not from Nourishing Africa. And we please indulge participants not to create any groups of such. We will not participate in such. This is a very common breeding ground for fraudsters and people who are looking to scam you of your hard-earned money as entrepreneurs. Please do not participate. Any questions for us, send them via email. Any interaction with other participants, you have the discussion forums on the e-learning portal for you. Thank you.
Thanks, Ramat. Another question here, can I skip a question? If yes, what if after I score 80 at the first test, looking forward to 100, I retake the test and score below 80? For the second opportunity given, which will be taken among all. If you score an 80 and you get less than an 80 after, Emeka would be, head of IT would be definitely the best to answer this, but I believe that the highest score would be counted towards the overall assessment. Emeka, if you are available, please answer this question.
Sam, so each module has an assessment. They all have, like, the whole 6 module has an assessment. So if you get, let's say, 50, 80, 80, 80, 20, and those that you got 20 or 50, you can just redo them. You can redo the ones you got 50 or 20, and let's say you get 65. So the main score is your last score, the accumulated score, like at the end of the whole module. So we have the last score you get, that after we've summed up the whole modules, that's the main score. So those module scores are not that relevant. That's the thing. So the main score you should focus on, if you can get at least 7% in all modules, then you're good to go.
Thanks, Emeka. So we have another question here. It's a common question. If they would have access to this video after, yes, absolutely. A YouTube link would be shared. This is being live streamed on YouTube, and there would be a YouTube link to rewatch if you missed some parts of the onboarding session. I do have another question about the assessments. Mohammed wants to know if the
just before I forget, just to let us know that WhatsApp line for very important inquiries. So remember again, I would really want to crave all our indulgence. Over 5,000 of you are participating in this program. So if we have a bombarding of hello, hi, how are you on our WhatsApp, we will not be able to attend to you all. So really please crave your indulgence to for this direct engagement on WhatsApp, just really make it very short, simple, so that we can get through all of the questions. You can imagine that we will be overwhelmed if we have so many to deal with. Just wanted to chip that in. So
thanks, Ramad. Emeka, if you could please come back. I think we're having more questions about this assessment. Someone is saying, so Emeka, are you saying that you will only take the last score or the highest score? These are two different things.
Well, it doesn't matter. The last score, the highest score just doesn't matter. The main thing is, if you can get above 70% in all of them or 65, then you're good to go, because what we would use to give you your certificate is the accumulated score of the whole 6 modules. Because the whole six modules are calculated, and then we give you your final score from the 6 modules. So if you can do well in all 6, let's say you get less than 50 or 20, you have 2 more chances to retake it. Just try to get at least 70 in all of them, and you're good to go. So I hope that's clear enough. For there are still more questions.
Thanks, Emeka. If there are, I'll loop you in again. Other people want to know if the assessments will be based on the trainings only, or if it would be on other relating information. No, the assessment is going to be based just on trainings. The additional resources are just there to expand your learning experience, but the assessments are only going to be based on the trainings. Yes, I hope that answers the question. Anozie wants to know if the scores of the test will be shown immediately as participants take the test. Yes, Emeka has spoken on this. Once you take the assessment, you would be able to see your score, and it would let you know if, you'll be able to see your score and if you want to retake them. Someone else wanted to know if the assessments can be retaken without necessarily watching the videos for the second time. Absolutely. Yeah, if you feel like you can retake the assessments without watching the videos, it's definitely your discretion. It's your choice completely. If you want to rewatch the videos, you could go ahead to rewatch the videos. If you feel like you have the necessary knowledge and you want to take it the second time without watching the videos, absolutely, please feel free to do that. Yes, this is a really good question. I want to know if the assessments would be objectives or theories. The assessment is a multiple choice assessment. So yes, objectives, I believe that's what it's called. It's multiple choice. There's no theory, just multiple choice.
Sorry, so I have some questions for you. The first one being, when will the link be made available? And how will I receive the link? And when I receive the link, what do I do?
Thanks, Ify. The link would be, they would get an email showing when they would get an email with the link, I believe. Ramad, let me loop you in on this, just to be clear. So there's a specific date.
Yes, so right after this training, within this week, you will get another email informing you of the dates when the e-learning portal will be open for you to commence training. So we're going to ensure that there's adequate time between when you receive the email and when the e-learning portal will be open, just so you can actually prepare, just like we have done. Ensure at least 2-3 days between when you receive the email from us and the actual activity. So for example, this session, we're sent the link about 2-3 days ago. It is really just to ensure that we allow some preparation time on your end. So as I've said, the information will be sent by email to you within this week, and there will definitely be some time between receiving the email and opening the e-portal for you to start the training.
Thanks, Ramat. Emeka, I do have another question for you. I think this person puts it simply. So he says, Emeka, simply put, if I retake the assessment 3 times and I score a 60, 78, and 50 respectively in a, I don't believe that's single assessment. In the assessments, which of the scores will be captured?
Okay, so just like I said, these scores are accumulated. So it won't matter, actually. We'll have to sum it up and give you your results. Let's say you get 100, 100, 65, 50, 100, 80. You can still pass. You get me? Or you get 100, 100, 50, 70, and that 85. That's the thing. So it's an accumulated score. It doesn't matter the highest or the lowest you get. Everything is calculated together.
Well, Emeka, I think the question is, if I'm taking, they're talking about one module now. They're talking about retaking the test, not different modules averages. So if I fail the first test and I try again and I get 60, and I try again and I get, oh no, let me start. I fail it the first time. The second time I get 80. The third time I fail it again. Is my final score going to be the time I failed it again or the second time that I got 80?
Would use your final score. We use your final score. So if you get 50 the first time and you redo it and get 80, we'll use 80. If you get 20 the first time and you redo it and get 75, we'll use 75. So we'll use your new score if you redo it.
So if I got 75, so just to clarify, if the second time I got 75 or I got 85 in the second time, and then the third time again, I get 45, my final score will be 45 because that was the last time I took it, correct?
Use your highest score. That's the thing. If you got, like, if you got 50 the first, if you got 80, let's say you got 70 the first time, and the second time you do it, you get 50, would use 70. You understand? Or if the first time you did it, you got 80, and you say you want to redo it again, and you get 70, we'll use 80. We use the highest score that you got.
Ramat, Emeka, I think Ramat wanted
to hear me. Okay, so
yes,
all questions about the scoring, I really believe it is simple, but the first thing to actually note is there is no pass or fail when you take your test scores. What you're working towards is 80% final score. So you can even do the math yourself as a participant and know what you're working towards. So we have allowed the multiple retakes just to help participants, also work towards this final score. So 80% is the final you are looking towards. So that means you have to ensure that you have the highest possible score for each of the 6 modules. And that's what is really important. And contrary to, what you might have understood, we are going to use the last retake, not the highest. So it is not like any academic institution, this is a training. So when you take the second time or the final time, if you score 45% that last time, that is what is going to be used. So it is really for participants to, structure their time, structure their learning experience such that you are able, even at the first try, you don't need to retake and retake. The retake is not there just for you to, keep taking it. At the first try, you can score as high as possible and you don't need to retake it. If you score 80% the first time, then please, you don't need to retake it. And as mentioned, please work towards the highest score as much as possible. I hope this helps.
Thanks, Ramat. I think so. I think it helps. A participant even just summarized this as well, that I think every participant should aim towards a high score. So when I score a low score the first time and I redo it, I get the high score, there would be no need to take it for the third time. This is what Ramat just explained. Yes. Another question I saw here was if they can take the 6 weeks training in one sitting, in 1 week. Again, this is a self-paced training, so it's your personal choice. if you think that a week would be for the amount of videos that you would have to watch for the 6 modules and the 17 courses, I don't know if a week you'd be able to sufficiently do it. But again, it's your personal choice. So it's self-paced. You can pace it however you do, as fast you complete it and complete the 6 assessments and make sure you earn high to count towards your overall certificates. That works.
Okay, if we have run through all of the questions, I believe we can proceed to information on the next steps and close the session.
Okay, thanks, Ramat. I would, Ola, could we please move to the next? Thank you. So for the key next steps and closing, we've briefly spoken about this, but we'll talk about it again. An account has already been created for you on the e-learning portal. Nourishing Africa would notify participants via email and text of the dates and information to access the e-learning portal. Kindly remember, and this is very important, kindly remember not to share your login details with anyone. So please keep your login details to yourself. Do not try to share them or share your resources. Keep your login details to yourself and don't share them with anyone. Nourishing Africa would upload this Zoom session online and provide a link to rewatch this session. And please join the Nourishing Africa Hub. I believe that Ola is here. He can speak more about that if he wants to, but please feel free to go on our email. We will drop it in the chat box and join the Nourishing Africa Hub. So again, it's been an absolute pleasure to take this online onboarding session to meet all of you guys. Thank you so much for attending, and we look forward to seeing you on the e-learning portal. So once again, congratulations on making it this far. And we're very excited, and we've worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure you enjoy a seamless learning experience. And we look forward to you guys participating in that experience. So thank you so much for attending the Zoom session. Again, if you have further questions, you can email us at YAEDP@nourishingafrica.com, and please feel free to join our emails at www.nourishingafrica.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Ramat, over to you.
Thank you so much, Soso, and thank you to all of the participants. I would want to say a big thank you again to the NAPC personnel on this call. We really do appreciate your time, commitment, and the various support that you've provided to us. I would also want to hand over to, I don't know if Mrs. Sherifat is still there to close us out, but just before that, I would want to address 2 things that I saw in the chat. So one, there is no monetary obligation tied towards this program at all. I saw something like that in the chat. Someone is asking if you have to pay some money to participate in this program. No, 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 and no. The NEPC is the funder for this program. All our activities have been adequately provided for by the NEPC, and nobody will reach out to you to say, you know what, pay me a certain amount of money to move you to the next stage. That is not going to happen. If it happens, please contact us through our whistleblowing line. Can one of the team members please drop the link in the chat so that everybody can see it? There is no monetary obligation to participate in this program. Nobody will collect money from you to ensure that you are moved to the next stage. Every stage is automated, and that is why we're focusing on the training on this onboarding session, because it is the first stage. Participants who are to go to the next stage will come again together to be onboarded to that stage so that the information is very clear. So all the stages are not, we have not given you all the information for all of the stages here. And again, there is no monetary obligation whatsoever tied to this program. Again, the NEPC has provided for all of the activities of both Nourishing Africa and WIBI to implement this program. And secondly, I see some WhatsApp groups created in the chat. Please do know that this is at the discretion and ownership of whoever is creating that groups. We are not creating WhatsApp groups for this program. This is not from or by Nourishing Africa or the NEPC or WIBI. WhatsApp groups are typically, used to actually, create some sort of discrepancies or some level of defrauding. We've seen that happen across several programs outside of Nourishing Africa even. So we would want you to be very careful of this. This is not by or from us. Any information from us will come directly via email or via SMS or via your notification on your portal. Please, please, please be aware of this. Please, we beg you. We know that there are so many people on this program, and we want to ensure that the dignity is preserved as much as possible. Thank you so much. I don't know if we still have Mrs. Sherifat, or if Mr. Dalhart is still with us and has some closing remarks. Okay, in the absence of any, I would say we've had a great time interacting with you all. Thank you so much for sending in your questions. If you feel like there are other things you need to know, you have our email address at yaedp@nourishingaafrica.com. Please let us know. And please look to your inbox for our next communications within this week. Thank you, thank you, thank you again so much. We really hope that we will have a robust interaction on this program. Have a wonderful day.